All right, Red and Whites, welcome back to another match preview. This time I've got a special guest on the channel to give us views from the Villa fans. It's Matt from the Villa View. How are we doing, mate?
Not too bad considering everything that's gone on over the past few days, as everyone's probably heard about.
Well, there's only one place to start. Relegation confirmed at the weekend at Old Trafford. So how are you feeling about the confirmation of it, mate?
I've been waiting for relegation now for 3 months plus now, so it's sort of expected. We all expected it to happen soon. So to have it away as Man United was no difference to any of us, I don't think. But it is hurting a lot because we've been up there for 26 years and now we're down right under the ground. So it can't be helped, I suppose, at times.
Of course, Villa were one of the founding members of the Premier League, weren't they?
Yeah, we was one of the 7, 8. I can't even remember how many it was, but there's only 6 of them remaining now. So for us to be on the originals means a lot. And for us to now lose that status, it does mean a lot to the fans because there's a lot of pride involved with that and a lot of history as well. And we've lost that in a matter of just a few years of just some stupid decisions at boardroom level and on the pitch.
So I'm sure I speak for many fans or, people that have seen it in the media. It seems like it's been a long time coming for you guys. You seem to have flirted with relegation for about 3 or 4 years.
Relegation's been an issue since Martin O'Neill left the club back in 2010. We always knew from that moment there was going to be issues at the club because Martin O'Neill did a lot for the club, but he spent a lot as well. And that was the issue. He spent a lot of money on players that weren't actually good enough to play for the club. And when you're wasting a lot of money, owners want to cut back, obviously. And Randy Lerner saw he'd missed the boat on Champions League with Manchester City, coming in with all their money. So he thought, I'm going to cut my losses, and he's took a big gamble, and it's failed massively.
All right, so now that's out of the way. Let's talk about the game then. Villa v Saints on Saturday. What are you expecting, mate? Is it a case of playing the kids and seeing what happens, or is it a sort of a rebuilding process from now?
I think we have to go for it. I think it's the case of rebuilding, as you say, but I don't think we should play the kids because at the moment at Villa Park, the atmosphere is awful. It's toxic, if I want to use a better word to say. The atmosphere is awful. Fans are hating. It's like a full team of youngsters, you could say, for example, who will get torn apart in terms of by playing a strong opposition like yourself, and in the sense that the fans will be on their backs constantly. I'd hope they wouldn't be on their backs, but the way things have gone in the past few days as well, I can only feel they would be on the backs, especially with protest plans as well.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I've heard about all these, these protests and all these things like that. I've seen some of the banners in the media as well. Proud history, no future. Would you say there are no foundations for a rebuilding process?
I honestly don't think there is at the moment. I thought a few days ago, yeah, there is a foundation. We've got the right board left members in, but we've seen over the past day with David Bernstein leaving, as well as Mervyn King. They're huge. They were huge players in the boardroom already for us, like big names that knew about football. Like Mervyn King's been a season ticket holder at Villa Park for 55 years. Bernstein's been in the industry for a hell of a long time. So it just seems very stupid for them to go. It sums up a lot of what must be going wrong behind the scenes. They've described it as an untenable situation. So, no, I can't see them in a future right now, especially in the Championship, where it's extremely tough to get there with 18 teams in there that have been in the Premier League in the past.
Yeah, so do you expect to see some of your highest earners leaving the summer then? The likes of Jordan Ayew, Lescott, Richards?
Jordan Ayew is the key one that we will lose because he's a top 10 Premier League player. He could walk into the Southampton team. I'm not just saying that. If you were to lose Sadio Mane, for example, this summer it's been rumoured, the one man I'd recommend to you is Jordan Ayew because you'll get him fairly cheaply and he'll do your job for you. It's the same as a club like West Ham have been rumoured for him. He's the sort of player that can add something to a lot of teams. He's only 23. I don't think people realise how young he is. And when you've got somebody with that ability at that age who scored a lot of goals, in the grand scheme of things of Aston Villa, he scored a lot of goals. So he's the main one. As for Johnny Lescott, I'd hope he goes, but he's on a lot of money again. And I can't see who would actually want him right now. Same for Mika Richards, Gary on. All these players have had shocking seasons on a lot of money. And I can't see who would actually want them anyway.
So how do you think you'll fare in the Championship? Honestly, I think they could well do a Leeds, back-to-back relegations maybe, and then struggle to get back up.
I wouldn't put it past us. We saw it with our local rivals, Wolverhampton Wanderers, as well, a few years ago as well. More recent example of it, where they did better relegations. Wigan as well. All these examples of Premier League teams that have been dropping like a stone and they've ended up in League One. It's easy to happen. It happened to yourself, arguably, over a fair stretch for a few years, but it happened to you as well through poor ownership. And we've got the foundations of a poor ownership, and we've got the foundations of a poor squad that don't really care. So I wouldn't rule it out whatsoever. It's a shame to say it, but I can't rule it out right now at all.
We've sort of deviated a bit from the game, but to wrap things up, mate, let's say your score prediction for Saturday.
I'd say 3-0 Southampton.
Well, there you have it, guys. Thanks, Matt, for joining us from the Villa View. If you want to check out Aston Villa content ahead of the Villa v Saints game, head over to their channel. I'll leave a description underneath the video. And if you like the video, drop it a like and subscribe to the channel.